ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶ ಶಾರದಾ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಸಿಂಧೂರಾರುಣ ವಿಗ್ರಹಾಂ ತ್ರಿನಯನಾಂ ಮಾಣಿಕ್ಯ ಮೌಲಿಸ್ಫುರತ್ ತಾರಾನಾಯಕ ಶೇಖರಾಂ ಸ್ಮಿತಮುಖೀಂ ಆಪೀನಮಕ್ಷೋರುಹಾಂ ಪಾಣಿಭ್ಯಾಮಲಿಪೂರ್ಣರತ್ನಚಷಕಂ ರಕ್ತೋತ್ಪಲಂ ಬಿಭ್ರತೀಂ ಸೌಮ್ಯಾಂ ರತ್ನಘಟಸ್ಥರಕ್ತಚರಣಾಂ ಧ್ಯಾಯೇತ್ ಪರಾಂ ಅಂಬಿಕಾಂ. Welcome to all for this session on Lalitopakhyanam. In the previous part of the Lalitopakhyanam, we have heard that Madana is being assigned with the task of disturbing the senses of Mahesha so that he will look up towards Parvati, and once he is attracted by Parvati, as Parvati is already yearning for and she is already in deep love with Shiva, an union of Shiva and Parvati would happen, which would lead to the birth of Kumaraswamy, who would finally going to kill Tarakasura. While on their way to Kailas, Rati Devi, wife of Madana, was filled with anxiety that Madana may not be a real good match to fight against the senses of Shiva. However, Madana was filled with the pride and he told her that he can achieve victory against anybody. And then he took his friend Vasantha along with him. Followed by Kandarpa, Vasantha entered the sacred Sthanvashrama, that is the ashrama of Shankara, although it was not at the time of the spring season. With Vasanta's entrance, the entire landscape began to wake up and smile as if it were and to unfold its beauty. The dried up trees began to tingle with the flow of new sap and life. The ripened dried leaves were carried away by the light breeze, and in their place began to appear richly green and varied colored leaves in their fresh delicacy. As if by mere magic, there appeared fresh greenery, fragrant flowers, and ripening fruits with bees buzzing around for honey. The hitherto parched and thirsty land now glistened green and wet, like dew bedecked carpet of grass. Every few yards there appeared a cluster of colorful shrubs crowned with richly tinted flowers, which shone in the snowy sunshine as miniature fairy rings. It seemed as though Sri Vanalakshmi had suddenly bedecked herself in dazzling finery of exquisite hues and sprayed herself with exotic scents of her tryst with her beloved. There seems to be a joy and a song in the very moments of these freshly blooming flowers, the tender and tiny breezes kissing the leaves and flowers of plants and trees sent a thrill through them so that they appear to dance and sway to the mellow tune of love. The insects and birds, the butterflies and moths, the bees and wasps glowed in their multicolored garb and were literally drunk mad with the newly formed honey, for they thought and beloved and for they fought and loved and frisked about, doing crazy with glee. Brimming with joy and chirping and squeaking, the birds and squirrels flitted from tree to tree, tasting the great variety of ripening fruits. Little streams and rushing rivulets with miniature waterfalls danced their way through the enhanced, enchanted landscape, while silver and gold film of many a strange hue jumped and frolicked in the cool and crystal clear waters. Nothing old or dilapidated seemed to exist anywhere. Youthful creatures were ubiquitous, and their frisky, frolicsome squeals and laughter filled the air. The enchanting flowery bowers and arbors teemed with singing and dancing lovers, now rolling down slopes carpeted with soft green down, now climbing high on hanging roots and alighting on swinging branches. The monkey played pranks and chattered without end. Nay, the whole place appeared as though it had been decorated by nature herself in her many inscrutable ways for the gala festival of love. Amid all this fine splendor of spring, the faint luring strains of Kinnara fairy damsels permeated the air and awakened the many tapasvis of the place from their meditation. Opening their eyes, they were thrilled by what they beheld before them. The fresh fragrance, the enchanted scenery, the alluring tunes, and the feel of the cool breezes soon invaded their minds, rousing karma and a queer longing for the embrace of other sex. In spite of their long austerity, their senses now ruled supreme, and illusion swayed their minds, so that all they beheld assumed the form of fair maidens, smiling and beckoning to them to approach. Even the Pramatha ganas were affected and, forgetting their many duties, began to dance and sing and roam about the rejuvenated gardens. Their chief Nandishwara was at first stunned at their unruly behavior. Then, noticing the enchantment of the surroundings, he suspected a foul play by some enemy of Ishana who must be intent on disturbing his samadhi state. However, finding Lord Shiva still in tranquil silence and unaffected by the outer turmoil, he came out to meet the noisy Pramathaganas. With brows knitted in anger, eyes flashing red, and nostrils dilated, he inhaled a deep, long breath and, quivering with wrath, let out a mighty, powerful hunkara which echoed and resounded through the entire ashrama, reverberating from hill to hill and filling the hearts of one and all with the dread of some impending doom. As if by a magic wand, the terrifying Humkara silenced the Pramathaganas, who became instantly sobered and ran back trembling to attend to their several duties. The Munis and Tapasvis shuddered at the sound and automatically closed their eyes and sprang back into the meditational poses. The frisking and frolicking animals stood suddenly still and slyly began to retire to their lairs in fear. The singing birds stopped in the mid of the tune and flew back in haste to their nests. Even the leaves and branches of the trees stopped moving, for the breezes themselves had frozen with fear. Even Vasantha, the lord of spring season, closed his eyes for a moment in silent prayer. Thus, in this part of the story, we have seen how Vasantha, who approached the Sthanvashrama first in order to change the entire atmosphere, though it was not the season of the spring, all of a sudden there was so much of greenery, fresh ripening fruits, fresh flowers everywhere around. Their fragrance, their scent awakened the hearts of rishis, yogis, and tapasvis who are now filled with several desires. Even Pramatagana started dancing around because of the ecstasy. However, Nandishwara, the main Pramathagana, saw all these things and with his hunkara he silenced everybody. However, Shiva is still deep immersed in the meditation yet undisturbed by the chaos that was created by Vasantha. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmir Puravasini, Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.